Hi, I am Donna Reich, author of Character Quality Language Arts and Meaningful Composition. Also, author of the blog, Character Inc. blog, Raising Kids with Character, and co-author of our parenting seminar, Raising Kids with Character and Raising Teens with Character. Today I am bringing you another look at meaningful composition. This is video 6, I believe, and it is a new look at meaningful composition. So if you are a vendor or a curriculum provider and you looked at meaningful composition back when we just had a couple of books spanning several grade levels and did not have a lot of our new features, I would really like for you to take a new look at meaningful composition, and that's what this video is going to be about. If you are a vendor or a homeschool provider, I hope that you have in front of you the Meaningful Composition Sample Book, and this book walks you through all of the different aspects of meaningful composition and correlates with all of these videos about meaningful composition. If you are not a vendor or a curriculum provider and you do not have this book in front of you, I hope you'll still watch the videos because you can get 2 weeks of each book available for free as a downloadable sample to try before you buy, and you can also learn all of the things that I'm describing in these videos from those samples as well. And so without further ado, I want to talk specifically to somebody who maybe has looked at meaningful composition before. Maybe you even use some of the early books in which we didn't have a lot of our techniques that we have learned through testing. I mentioned before how my son Joshua and I teach meaningful composition. We also teach CQLA classes, but we teach meaningful composition classes locally to homeschoolers in our cottage class program. In that program, Joshua and I together teach over 100 students every semester in 4 locations from our books. So every project that is in meaningful composition is thoroughly tested. A project is tested between 2 and 5 or 6 times. Sometimes in like some of our how-tos, we test them 8 or 10 or 12 times. But on the average, between 2 and 5 times, each project is tested with a group of students sitting around the table with us. And after this thorough testing that we have done over the last 3 years of rewriting and revising meaningful composition, I'm quite frankly amazed that anybody provides a curriculum to homeschoolers or to public school or any place without sitting down with students on an ongoing basis, testing and retesting. Because the things that we have discovered through testing are things that a curriculum author behind closed doors, no matter how advanced that person might be in a doctoral of English or whatever, no matter what, that person cannot bring the same things to curriculum writing that a person who's sitting here looking at, 6th, 7th grade boys with their eyes glossed over, like or deer in the headlights look, and realizing, you know what, this isn't going to work for a 7th grade boy. And it is only through that thorough testing that you can really discover these things. Now, my son and I have a lot of education in our background. My undergraduate degree is in elementary education, and my master's work is in reading education. And my son, his undergraduate degree is history, and you may have heard his story. He tested out of his entire history degree, except for 2 classes for which there were no tests available. And then he has added so many different emphases because he is an ongoing student. He is a perpetual student. So he does a lot of audio and video college classes while he drives. He's a residential painter in the summer, so while he paints. So he has a lot of emphases in literature, in every single time period and country that you can think of history, in reading, in teaching writing, and in teaching in general. And so that is what we bring together as authors of meaningful composition educationally wise. But there is no substitute for testing. And so that is one of the things that I want you to realize about the new meaningful composition books, that they are thoroughly tested. So other new features that we have is that we have fewer given source projects. If you've watched the videos up to this point, you have seen how we use given sources to teach how to outline and how to write from. And then we use that given source to teach methods that they will need to complete the project. If you keep following throughout these videos, you can go back and watch some of the previous ones if that is unclear to you. Also look through your sample, but in the next 3 videos I'm going to be talking specifically about the 3 types of writing: creative writing, research writing, and essay writing. And you'll see more about how we give them a source, but doesn't end there. They use that source to learn to write from, and then the next time they're going to write that same type of writing, and that source is going to be their teacher through the books. So with that, with the fewer given sources projects, a lot of the younger students we still give sources to, but we also use those sources to teach from. So we have really 2 types. We no longer call them keyword outlines. We now call them sentence by sentence outlining. Talked about that earlier. And they're either doing a sentence by sentence outlining over a given material or over original sources, either student found sources or if it's a story that they're making up. We have student samples in nearly all original assignments. We do have student samples when we give them a source. We show them a paragraph sample of how to outline and how to write in all the given ones. But in the original ones, we have extensive samples, student samples that we teach from actually, and that they can use. Parents especially have appreciated all of the samples that we've added because they're coming there and they're doing a new project. For example, maybe they're writing about vision problems or something like that, and it's a research project, and the parents are just a little bit unsure of how to do the research project. And of course we have every step in there, but they can just flip back and read the sample, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I know what my student's paper should look like in the end. It's a super encouragement for students. At first we were a little bit hesitant about it because you never know for sure if the sample is going to intimidate the student, but actually the opposite has happened, because the samples, the students read it and they're like, I got the idea from the sample, but I think mine's going to be better. And it just really excites them about writing. And so we have student samples in nearly all original assignments. And next, we have dozens of outlining types. I hope that you will look at all of our samples, because we have learned through writing how to make the pre-writing and the outlining type that the student needs for that exact assignment. This has been an exciting breakthrough for us as writers, because we have all of these different approaches that we have been able to use with our students, that if you continue on in the video series and you watch the creative writing ones and the research writing ones and the essay one, all of those 3 videos coming up next, you'll be able to see all of the various outlining types and how strong these outlining types are to prepare the student for each type of writing. Next, a new feature is all of those great new techniques, again, from thorough testing. And so if you saw Meaningful Composition before and it didn't have a lot of pre-writing to the assignment, maybe it taught them how to outline and how to research, but it didn't, for instance, teach third-person writing. Or like something super important for biographical writing is transitional sentences and phrases. And so maybe it didn't have all of that in it before. Take a new look, because I think you'll enjoy and really see how these techniques that we have found through thorough testing really build up each project. And lastly, we've added our college prep books and projects from 10th through 12th grade. This sample does not have a lot of these in it because they are extremely long and extremely detailed. But we always have students who continue throughout our classes and end with these books, these projects, these approaches, because they are 100% ready for college. The kids who follow through on these, they are the ones who text me on the SAT or ACT day, "Oh, Mrs. Reese, you'll never believe it. The SAT essay was so easy. I can't believe I could do that." Or the reading comprehension section was so easy. I just thought about everything we learned in meaningful composition, about main idea, about paragraph topics, about how transitions introduce a new topic, about transitional words, how one word can mean, however, can mean there's going to be an exception coming up. But moreover, it means there's going to be more information coming up. I aced it, they'll say. I rocked it. And it's an exciting day for me when that happens. Another exciting time of year for me is September, because in September, that's when I get the Facebook messages, the postings on my Facebook wall, the messaging from parents and texts from students that say, thank you, thank you, thank you. My English teacher can't believe it after 3 weeks of seeing my papers, how I can write. Or my English teacher said that whoever taught me, he wishes that all of his students had that teaching in high school. Whatever book you've used, whatever source you've used, you learned how to write well in high school. So that's an exciting time for us. But our programs from 10th through 12th grade are very specific. We do have samples at the Carey store of all of those. We have our 10-1, which is an essay only book, teaches all types of essay writing, the quotation essay, the persuasive essay, right down to timed essays. And then we have our 11-1 book is nothing but timed essays. It used to be called the SAT essays, but now we've added some other stuff to it since the SAT essay isn't mandatory, and it's called the timed essay and the 3 Ps of persuasion. 3 Ps of persuasion, students learn how to write persuasively. First, the position for their whole paper, then a point in each paragraph, and then a proof in each paragraph of that point. Take a look at that. Our 11-1 book, timed writing, and 3 Ps of persuasion that really, really prepare students for persuasive writing. Then we have our 10-2, which is the 4 research reports, and it teaches the works cited, the MLA citation. Now it's important to note that all of these methods that are in our 10th through 12th grade books, they are also sprinkled throughout our other books incrementally. So I'll show you a little bit more about that when we get into the next video about each specific type. The last 3 videos coming up, I will show you exactly how these advanced books are actually sprinkled throughout the earlier books too, so that a student is ready for these books when he gets to them. Thank you for watching this Meaningful Composition Introduction, a new look at meaningful composition, and I hope that if you are a vendor or a curriculum provider, that you will take a new look at meaningful composition.